Chapter 11. The Nature of Power. Quote, "An essence of power that has yet to be fully articulated." End quote. The 48 Laws of Power. Contained within this piece is wisdom that most people can feel subconsciously, but few have ever articulated consciously. Power imbalances. A superior is simply someone who wields more power over you than you do over them, while a subordinate is someone whom you wield more power over than they do over you. A power imbalance can be defined as the power the other party wields over you minus the power you wield over them. This begs the question, what gives one party power over another? Most forms of power boil down to either a carrot or a stick. A carrot is a potential reward. Do as I say, or I will deny you X. A stick is a potential harm. Do as I say, or you will suffer Y. A steep power imbalance is one where the gap between the power of one party and the other is so big that it's undeniable. A shallow power imbalance is one where there is a gap between the power of one party and the other, but the gap isn't obvious. It is quite plausible to maintain the pretense that the power of each party is equal. Zero power imbalance is a case where the power each party wields over the other is equal, or close to equal. In modern America, carrot power is far more common than stick power. An ancient king ruled over peasants by saying, "Do what I say, or you will be killed. Now go and bring me my wenches to suck my cock, and bring me some wine and a morsel of ham." This is extreme stick power. A modern capitalist rules over his wage slaves by saying, "Do what I say, or you will be denied your wages and starve to death." This is extreme carrot power. Thinking of carrot power as gentle and stick power as harsh is foolish. Both carrot and stick power can have deadly consequences. In any relationship where there is a steep power imbalance, one party is a master and the other is a slave. If you are ever in a situation where another person wields the power to destroy your life, and you wield no significant power over them, you are a slave to them. In modern America, nobody is ever called a slave, but there are plenty of employees who are slaves in everything but name. It should be noted that the perceived balance of power is what determines how people behave, not the actual balance of power. Top-down exploitation. It is inevitable that those towards the top of a dominance hierarchy wield more power over those towards the bottom than vice versa. Indeed, in some sense this is what it means to be towards the top of a hierarchy. It is also inevitable that those towards the top will exploit those towards the bottom for their own gain, simply because they can. Many communists blame this on capitalism, calling it capitalist exploitation. But this is to drastically underestimate how deeply rooted the problem is. Top-down exploitation is a feature of every society, macro-dominance hierarchy, whether capitalist, feudalist, socialist, or communist. The degree of exploitation may vary from one society to another, but the fact of its existence does not. Commonality of conflict. If two people with power levels far apart encounter each other, the probability of conflict or argument is very low. The less powerful person will instinctively submit to the will of the more powerful person, lest they face the wrath of the more powerful person. Conflict is far more likely when two people of roughly equal power encounter one another. Each person could conceivably win the conflict, so both are willing to fight. Middle managers starting arguments with CEOs is rare, but middle managers starting arguments with other middle managers is common. Rules. Dealing with superiors. What follows are guidelines for interacting with your superiors, those who wield more power over you than you do over them. Most of these are things most people do instinctively. However, it is useful to be consciously aware of them. Hide your displeasure, fake your contentment, follow orders. Quote, "It is foolish to get angry with people whose power is so great that you cannot hope to win. Even if they offend you, you must grin and bear it." End quote. Francesco Guicciardini. When in the presence of your superiors, you must always appear to be happy, or at least neutral. You must also follow every order they give you. Never complain or express any displeasure. Never express any anger or disdain towards one of your superiors. Violate this, and it is likely to annoy one of your superiors enough, such that they will use whatever power they wield over you to wreck you. Expressing anger or displeasure towards a superior is tactical suicide. It sounds obvious, yet many have ruined their lives by doing this. In the venue of office politics in particular, you must hide your displeasure and fake your contentment so that your superiors view you as being a good worker with a good attitude, someone worthy of promotion. Charm works. Intimidation is suicide. When dealing with superiors, charm and persuasion are the only tools available to you. Attempting to use intimidation on a superior for the sake of coercing them into cooperation is tactical suicide. Your petty attempt will annoy them, possibly so much that they use the power they wield over you to wreck you. Never outshine them. Law 1. If it is ever the case that you have a superior who dislikes you, and there isn't an apparent reason why, it is most likely because they feel you have not been sufficiently obsequious in your dealings with them. Be calm and confident. There is a paradox. You must not outshine your superiors, but on the other hand, if you look like a nervous wreck, it makes them perceive you as someone unworthy of their respect. Within the venue of office politics, this is fatal, since it makes your superiors perceive you are unworthy of promotion. Your superiors should perceive you are calm and confident, but not arrogant. When meeting an immensely powerful person, a billionaire, don't give them hero worship. Express modest admiration for their accomplishments, but don't crumble at their feet the way most people do. This causes them to view you as respectable, a worthy courtier rather than a common peasant. Appear receptive to their advice. Most advice from most people is garbage. However, when someone gives you advice, you must appear receptive to it. If you appear unreceptive to their advice, they will feel insulted. This is all the more true when dealing with a superior. In life, you have two choices. Be an ignorant fool or a brilliant strategist. Buy the audiobook now to learn how to be the latter. Scroll down to find the link in the description. Click on the link. Purchase it now. Listen to the entire audiobook from start to finish. Then, watch your life transform.